what's going on? If you tuning in right now, welcome to On the Tube with Maine. Today's video, I'm gonna be talking about Army Compassionate Reassignment. With that being said, go ahead and get right into it. So, a compassionate reassignment is pretty much for soldiers who are located OCONUS, meaning Hawaii, Germany, Italy, Alaska, right? And those type of locations. So let's say you have a family emergency, pretty much that, your presence is needed. It could be your mom, father, brother, whoever. Like your situation could be at your hometown, wherever your hometown is, but you're way in Italy. So this request can be because of medical issues, death. When I say medical issues, somebody is very sick, and like I said, your presence is needed. So in case of those issues, this is what you have to do. You have to put in this request. And just so you know, because you put in this request doesn't mean your request is going to be approved. Your request can be denied, right? So with that being said, so you would need a 4187, right? And on this 4187 form, you would need, let me think, you would need your D-Rolls, date. You're going to need your new requesting D-Rolls date. And you're also going to need your ETS date on there. Also, you're going to have a justification, meaning you're going to have to explain why you're putting in this, the reason why you're putting in this 4187. And also, with that, you got to have on the 4187 the things that's going to be attached to the 4187, meaning the your SRB, your medical documents, and if it is medical documents that you're going to be attaching, you will have to have a doctor's statement on there. And then another thing that's likely that you would need to have, at least for my experience, I had the chaplain statement in there. So those are the things that you would need to be attached to this 4187. Also, you would need a 3739 form. That is the actual application for your compassionate reassignment request. So you have to make sure you get all those things, and you have to make sure you get all those things filled out. Now, if you don't know about it, you don't know who to go to, of course, you go to your first line, or your platoon sergeant. But the people who have this information or should have a template of the 4187 that you have to fill out is the NCO of your orderly room. It may be a specialist promotable in your orderly room. If you're not sure where the orderly room is, normally the orderly room is with your in the office, same area that your first sergeant or your commander office area is, and even the school's NCO office. Pretty much all of that is the orderly room. And yeah, it could be a specialist promotable, or it could be an E5 NCO that's over the orderly room. You will get with them and get a template, right? So once you get that template, go ahead, get all your documents, everything that you need. Now, for the 3739 form, for the actual application, it's a lot of stuff you got to put in there, right? So you get that filled out, make sure you fill it out correctly. One big thing is you're going to have to explain why are you requesting. You're going to have to put your reason of why you're requesting the compassionate reassignment. And then also you got to put in there why you feel you should be approved for the compassionate reassignment. And with that, this needs to be not 1-2 sentences. It need to be at least a paragraph or two. I would say 2 paragraphs explaining. I ain't gonna go that deep. Just one good paragraph. Your verbiage need to be legit, right? Almost as if you're writing an essay. You know what I mean? So, but you're writing about your reason of why you putting in this request, and then you're also writing about why you feel you should be approved for this request. So make sure you get that, and make sure you're very detailed with that. Um, so again, like I said, once you get all your documents and get everything that you need, you will get that stuff set up. Once you get it set up, it got to go to your battalion S1, right? When it gets to your battalion S1, and we'll talk about my experience, right? My experience, everybody's experience is different. So, my battalion, once everything got sent up, I had to wait for a response, right, to see what's going on. Before they really, before I could, it really got sent up to HRC and all that stuff, I had to sit down with my battalion sergeant major. My battalion sergeant major, I had to sit down with my battalion sergeant major to know, she wanted to know what was my reasons, for wanting to put in this compassionate reassignment. So I sat there, I explained to her my reasons, and she sat there and she was like, okay, because you got to think about it. They got to send this up. And if it get denied, it's more like their leadership is in question. Like your decision making. Like you decided that this soldier application was good to go and you sent it up and it got denied. So they gonna make sure, or they should make sure, that everything is legit, especially if they feel that it is it's in accordance to the regulations. And like I said, with all this, you can Google this. You can Google Army Compassionate Reassignment, or you can also look at Army Regulation 614-200, and I believe it's Chapter 5, right? It tells you everything that you need to know about putting in a compassionate reassignment. So, but anyway, you're gonna have to sit down with your sergeant major, battalion sergeant major, and you're gonna have to discuss your reason for putting in this request. Even before you do that, you're gonna have to talk to your first sergeant. You're gonna have to talk to your commander, and they gonna have to see okay, this is legit. This is a legitimate reason for them to put a compassionate reassignment, because your commander, your first sergeant, they also have the ability to be like, no, you're not putting in that. Well, they're not gonna send it up. You can put it in, but we're not gonna send it up. Or you can still put it in, but they're gonna put their remarks on it and I guess request for your request to be denied. But that's what you're gonna have to go through. Once you do that, you gotta know this, that it can take up once your documents and everything been sent up, you gotta keep in mind that it may get kicked back. And if it get kicked back, don't be discouraged to oh man, they kicked it back, because they should kick it back with corrections. Like, hey, you need to correct this. And what you want it to get kicked back at the battalion level, right? Unfortunately for me, mine did get kicked back at the battalion level, but it also got kicked back at HRC because I was missing some medical documents in there, right? So the good thing is they let me know exactly what documents that I needed, and I was able to get those documents. So for you all, that's what you have to do beforehand. You have to make sure that you have all your documents, because like I said, once HRC receive your packet, your request, they have up to 30 days to do whatever it is that HRC does to come up with a decision. They have 30 days. So keep in mind, you already know how stuff be when you send it up for leave, when you send up just the different things that you send up. So it could take 15 to 20 days just for your stuff to get to your sergeant major to sign off, right? And then when that happens, they got to send it off to HRC however long that takes for HRC to receive it. From the time they receive it, it's going to take up to 30 days. So altogether, it can take up 3 months to 4 months before you even get an answer on what it is. So that's why it's very imperative that you make sure you have all the correct documents and make sure that you fill out all the forms correctly, because it just, it's more time. And then it just gets tedious with it. So definitely this is a thing, right? If you have family hardship, if you have like I said, death in the family, anything that's gonna need, like your presence is needed and you have to be there more than 30 days, right? Have to be there more than 30 days. Just you going on leave will not rectify the issue at hand, right? Then you put in a compassionate reassignment, right? And like I said, because you put in this request, it's not guaranteed that it's gonna get approved. So this information that I'm giving you, hopefully it helps you. I know I didn't have all the information that I needed. I had to research it. I had a good platoon sergeant at the time, and he, made sure that, I had everything that I needed. And my sergeant major was a great sergeant major. They made sure that I was taken care of, and that they did everything in their power to make sure that my request was going to be approved, to make sure that I had, the best chances of getting approved. And I did. Mine got approved. So hopefully this helps you out. If you happen to find yourself in this situation and you need to put in a compassionate reassignment, just make sure you have those documentations. Like I said, if I miss anything, you can comment below and I will respond. But yeah, I think I believe I hit on everything. Like I said, the 4187, the DA form 3739, your SRB, your medical documentations, your doctor statement, chaplain statement. The chaplain statement is a very, very important too. So yeah, to touch on that real quick, I talked to the chaplain. I explained to the chaplain my situation, and I asked the chaplain, would he do a statement? And the chaplain, was like, okay. And he did his statement. So that helps. Not saying it's going to guaranteed, it's going to be guaranteed because you got a chaplain statement that is guaranteed that your request is going to get approved. Like, it could get denied. There's a lot of people request that has got denied. So just keep that in mind when putting in the compassionate reassignment. One more thing I have to say is for my experience, I put in for Fort Moore, right? Because that's like an hour away from my hometown, from where my situation lies, right? And with that, I didn't get Fort Moore. I ended up getting Fort Stewart, which happens to be 5 hours away from where my home is and where my situation lies. So HRC approves me 60 days to be attached to a recruiting unit, to MEPS, or to a recruiting station, right? They approved me 60 days to be attached. So, once you get to your new duty station, make sure that you bring this up if HRC approves you that. For me, I think I got that approved because exactly I was five hours away from where my issue lies, right? So I brought that up. A lot of people, like the commander, first sergeant, they wasn't familiar with this HRC approval of 60 days. It's really 60 days of leave, but it's 60 days of you being attached to a recruiting station, to a battalion, or to a MEPS, right? And it's really for you to be attached so you can be in your hometown to do what you need to do to help your family out, or to help whatever situation you may have going on. And with that new unit that you're attached to is pretty much, they're now in control for UCMJ actions. They are now in control of your accountability, right? So once your 60 days is up, you're able to go back to your regular unit, and that's that. So yeah, make sure you look things up. It will be in your orders, it will be in your email. It's things like that stating that you've been approved these 60 days. And with that being said, HRC, they have their own compassionate department. So you can go on the Army HRC website and you can look for their compassionate department, and you can email them directly, and they will be helpful. They will reach out. They will reach back out to you and tell you exactly what you need if you don't know what you have to do. So I hope this video was helpful. Till next time, peace.